Feel like I got something in my eye, y'all. What's up? Divine, do I got everything? DivineMoonGoddess, fam, bam. DivineMoonGoddess coming at you with a little bit of walk and talk. I'm gonna show you guys the view. You know how I do. Alright. So, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Hopefully everybody's chilling. It's Friday in the neighborhoods. It's Friday everywhere, not just in the neighborhood. Could you be my neighbor? All right, so we're gonna have a little chit chat today as I get my walk on, get my exercise on for the day. 5 days in a row, you guys. Be proud of your DivineMoonGoddess. I have finally gotten to a routine of getting my ass out here. Now, of course, yesterday I ended up having to run from the rain. If you saw my walk and talk yesterday, then you seen me. But so whenever you see this, know that you're meant to see it whenever you see it, okay? There's no, oh, I missed it. No, whenever you see it, you see it, right? Whenever you see it, you're meant to see it. So, as we walk, my caption today is, do you really want to end up alone? And there's a couple reasons why I have kind of brought that out, or brought this particular conversation up, right? And it's because I see so many love gurus and self-help, and you see a lot of these guys, and we're not even going to start on Derek Jackson. Is that his name? Derek Jackson? Mr. Jackson? Who used to be like so fucking popular about giving women advice on love and relationships, right? Oh shit, Babs, where you been, boo? I ain't seen you in forever. You know? And you see all these women gurus too. It ain't just the men, it's women gurus too that are out here, and they have all these steps for you to take to find the best man and get these blah blah fucking blah relationships and yada 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 yada. Hey Skylar, hey Bella. But I'm gonna tell you guys some real shit. There's millions of fucking people on this damn planet, alright? And we're gonna talk about standards versus expectations, okay? Because there's a huge difference between standards and expectations. I miss you. Alright, you gotta tell me what you've been doing. People think setting expectations, that's how you get that perfect partner, right? I'm gonna set these expectations. They gotta look like this. They gotta make this. They gotta talk like this. They gotta walk like this. They gotta act like this. Unfortunately, that's not gonna get your person. That's not gonna bring in love, okay? It just isn't. You're doing good. Hey, Dana. Oh, I'm glad. I was wondering where you've been, boo. So, when you're looking at expectations, right? That is like you're saying someone has to be this, or it's no go. They have to do this, or no. It's a no, right? That's what expectation is. They gotta drive a certain car, right? Because God forbid you take someone who don't got a car. What if they just don't want a car in life? What if they're just like, fuck transportation? I like public transportation, you know? I feel like we have all these stipulations in a there's not a lot of options. People make it seem like it's just hella options out here and dating is just so fucking fun. And let me tell you what, yeah, when you're in your 20s, dating is very different from when you get up in them 30s and them 40s. Okay? Dating is completely different when you get older. So yeah, in your 20s, you know what? I say still don't have all those damn expectations in your 20s. But you will see that having those expectations aren't going to get you the romance, the life partner that you desire. Now, some people take that as what I'm talking about is standards. I'm not talking about standards. I'm not talking about shit, just let anybody in your bed. I'm not talking about just have a relationship with anybody. But let me tell you, the bad part about it is you get to a certain point, you're like, I want X, Y, and Z. You're going to have to settle. And settle is not a bad thing, okay? If you want to be married by a certain age, guess what? You're going to have to settle. You're going to have to settle for someone who doesn't look like those expectations that you fucking made. It just isn't. You rather take Uber? I personally don't like public transportation myself. I mean, I've done years on it, but I personally don't like it. I'd rather be in my car. But so if you say I gotta have a kid by this age, well, guess what? You gotta fucking settle. You gotta settle. It just doesn't work like that. So standards are different, okay? Standards are tied to your morals of who you are and what you want, your values, like, you know, saving yourself before marriage and shit like that, right? Those are your standards. Your standards not to just take anyone, you know, who's beating the shit out of you or something like that, or stealing your money, or a drug addict. Standards are, you know, those are standards, which I completely understand standards. But those expectations, you know, like you go on a date. I've heard so many women, and I know men do it too, so I'm not saying men don't do it, but I'm a woman and I hear more women conversations than anything. I've heard women talk shit about a guy on a date and won't go back out with him because he was wearing Skechers. What the fuck does his Skechers have to do with the type of person he is? You said you date yourself? Like, what does his shoes got to do with his personality? And if you ask someone who's talking about somebody's shoes, they can't tell you the personality. Were they sweet? Well, yeah. Did they take you out? Yeah. Did they pay for the dinner? Yeah. They opened your car door? Yeah. Oh, but I can't get past those Skechers. Well, fucking A. Your ass don't want a relationship, do you? That is an example of what I'm talking about. Like, we got these expectations of what our soulmates are supposed to look like. We got these expectations of how they're supposed to act and be, right? We don't give room for the universe to send love to us because we've already painted a picture of who our person is supposed to be. And if that person doesn't show up looking like that person, the facade that we've created, the illusion that we've created, well, we don't have any room for them. Because God forbid we fucking take someone less than our expectations, right? And that still has nothing to do with standards, right? Someone's shoes has nothing to do with their standards. Nothing. You said they go Dutch on you. I don't know what that term means, boo. What does that mean, they go Dutch on you? Hey, Christina. People think relationships are fucking always rainbows and fucking butterflies, and it's this magical unicorn type shit. It is, but it isn't. Relationships take work. Relationships are about compromise. Relationships are about two individuals coming together to partner up. You got to be able to step outside of your fucking box. You will never get to that relationship if all you keep looking for is the same expectations that have, you know what I mean, like disappointing you over and over and over again. Hey sis, what's up, boo? So we want a relationship. I want to find the love of my life. Here I go. I'm going on a date. All of a sudden, I don't like this man because he chews fucking loud. I don't like this man because of his shoes. I don't like this man because he wore a brown belt and had fucking black shoes. Like, who the fuck cares? Oh, he only makes $40,000 a year. $40,000 a year is not bad after taxes, okay? Not everybody's gonna live a life of fucking luxury. Not everybody's gonna be driving Maseratis and bullshit like that, okay? On yachts and shit. So at some point, you gotta ask yourself, when do I strip away these fucking unrealistic expectations that nobody is gonna live up to? You know what I mean? Even on the guy's part, to think that everybody that looks like these filtered people on Instagram, and all they do is use filters in Photoshop. All that shit's bullshit. Even the fucking stars do it. Hey, Josephine. Oh, shit. Now, let me tell you something. I will say this. The biggest thing is women have confused the game with men, right? I'm going to tell you what's wrong with us women. We want men to come and pay for everything, but then we want to be treated like equal. We want them to come in and pay for everything. Let me say it again. But then we want it to be treated like equal. It's 50-50. Well, it's 50-50. Boo, you're going to pay 50-50 from the start. You want it to be 50-50. Well, you're going to have to step up from the start. We can't keep living in a double standard as women. We require the men to be this, but we gonna do this. I need you to step up and be ready to pay all my bills, yet I'm not ready to take on your motherfucking bills. Don't ask me for $5. Don't ask me for gas money. Right. Exactly. You're going to always find something wrong with the person coming at you because you got these unrealistic fucking expectations. Look, you wanted 50-50 with a man. Best believe, get ready to pay 50-50 with that man. And that means you stepping up to the plate to be like, nah, I got this dinner, boo. And if he don't pay, you can't get mad at that because that's what you wanted, right? Me? No. I want my man to come in and swoon me. I don't give a fuck about that 50-50 shit. Fuck all of that. You gotta just get to a point where you're like, my expectations, do they fucking really meet reality? And if they don't, start chucking this shit in the motherfucking trash. Because if you don't want to be lonely and you don't want to be alone, right? You are going to have to make some changes in what you desire. And that does not mean, okay, you should just go with anyone. But if you're like, oh, my clock's ticking and I only have a couple more years to have a baby, well, guess what? You're settling because you want a baby now. You don't want to wait to see if your person comes in. You want that baby now. So now you're going to have to settle for someone else. But we gotta expand, okay? Expand this out. Stop finding every little thing to say fuck somebody. If someone doesn't call you back, you mad. Maybe they really were busy. Maybe they really did not get to call you. Like, don't take it so fucking personally. Now, I'm not saying deal with someone who ghosts you all the fucking time, plays games and all that. There's a big difference. But you want a career-driven man or you want a career-driven woman, guess what? They're not going to be in their fucking phone every 5 minutes. Not a career-driven man or woman. They're just not. So guess what? Here goes the double standard again. I want a man or woman to be career-driven and I want them to have this. Well, guess what? It takes a lot of hours to get that. It takes a lot of hours to produce those results. Do you really want that? No. You really want a motherfucker to go work 8 hours and come home to your ass. That's what you really want. You don't want someone who's working 16, 17, 20 hours a day out of 24 hours. You don't really want that. But that's what you're saying. That's what you're putting out into the universe. That's what you've told spirit, and you know that's what you want. But that's not reality, is it? It's not. So get clear on what it is that you're asking for. Get clear on what it is that you're trying to pull in. Because best believe that dude that's really on it, that woman that's really on it, they ain't got time to sit here and be fucking talking on the phone with you all day. You know what I mean? They got business to take care of. And you have to kind of understand that. Make sure those expectations get thrown away. I get it, standards. I get it. I'm not saying just fuck with anyone or deal with anything. I'm not saying be unhappy. But your expectation of what a relationship is may not match the reality that you're in. And if you got deadlines and timelines and shit on what you fucking want, then guess what? You're gonna have to fucking settle. So if I got a timeline that says I gotta be married by this age, well, guess what? I guess you settling with the first motherfucker that comes to you that says he wants to marry you. I've heard women say, I want to be married. I want a husband. Universe will send them somebody who's ready to get married now, who wants to partner up now, who wants to find a house now together, move in and fucking live happily ever after. And they will be like, oh my God, that's too fast. Wait a minute. You just told the universe that you wanted a man. You wanted to get married by this age. You're approaching this age. Spirit sent him to you. What's wrong? He's moving too fast. Nope. 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 It's like, wait, what? The fuck? You're confusing the universe. Okay? Well, hi. You're running too far. So you gotta look. Let me tell you, this game, people didn't fuck this shit up. Telling you bullshit like there's a million fishes in the sea and all them motherfuckers is trash too. You gotta step out of that belief system of, now look, I'm not gonna say not to want a man or woman to worship you, right? But let me tell you, it's not that many people who are going to worship you. It's not that many people who are gonna throw you up on a pedestal, right? So if you find one that does, keep that motherfucker. Because chances are you're not going to find another one of them. We make it seem like it's so easy out there today. And I've been single for a very fucking long time, living this single life. And I will guarantee you, I've had more bullshit than actual contenders, okay? Now, guaranteed, a lot of it is because of my own bullshit and expectations. Quintita Dean, why are you giving me such an angry face? Oh, yeah. You know, you could, look at the little ducks. You could sit here, they're sunbathing, y'all, they're sunbathing. You could sit here and say, I'm a queen, I'm an empress, right? And I know I'm a goddess, right? But at the same time, you know how many other goddesses are out here in competition for fucking relationships? Like, let's be real. Let's just keep this shit 100. You are in competition with the next goddess, okay? So, if you're gonna sit here and have expectations, your options dwindle. Your options change. Your variety changes. You're not open. I've heard women say, I only date this nationality. Well, there you go. Now your options have dwindled. Your variety is smaller. You have a smaller pot to fucking pick through. Because you're not open. You're not open to chance something different. You're not open to step out of what you know. So again, whose fault is that? Yours. And your own expectations are going to keep you in that fucking pit, right? Hey, boo. Look, everybody wants a relationship. I don't give a fuck if you're sitting here like, oh, I'm good single and I'm this, that. Yes, yes, yes. I'm talking about later on. If you don't want to be alone and you don't want to be single for the rest of your life, you will need to change some of your expectations on dating and relationships. Okay? It is just that fucking simple. I've heard, like, let me tell you, if you are going to sit in the expectation that only this race is going to be good for you, and let me tell you, we all have preferences. We ain't going to go there. Preferences are preferences. And I'm not telling you to go against your preferences. But if you're not open to try other things, if you're not open to give the dude with the Skechers a chance, if you're not open to give the dude with a Pinto a chance, or woman, because we're not going to keep this just to women, right, or men, it's for both, then your options dwindle. The older you get, the less options you have in dating. It's just the reality. And I'm not saying that as you get older, hey Gwendolyn, that you won't find love, but your options change. Your options lessen. You ain't got all the motherfuckers at your door and in your DMs no more. You know? I'm not saying you need a relationship, and this is not what the live is about. It's about, generally speaking, no matter if you're good single or not, because I'm good single. I've been single a very long time. Pay my own bills, I'm good. I survive by myself. I'm a boss by myself. Do I want to be single forever? No. I do want a relationship. I want a healthy relationship. That means I've had to work on myself and change some shit of how I see things and how I date, how I allow someone to come at me, you know? So you really have to, like, change. You really have to get outside of what you know. There was a time I only dated a certain race. Well, my chances were slim. And then I said, fuck it. I'm going to try to date other people. And say, fuck it. I'm going to date other races. And see what happens. I'm doing good, boo. Hey, Neemer. Neemer Loke in the building. So we have got to take expectations, even men, women, it doesn't matter who you are. Take those expectations and that motherfucking checklist, throw it out the window. Because when it comes to partnerships and you got timelines and shit, you will have to settle, all right? You will. Or you will be alone. That is the fucking reality. It is the reality. Again, I'm not saying deal with someone who's beating your ass. Again, I'm not saying deal with someone who is cheating on you, you know, treating you like shit, dragging you through the mud. I'm talking on a healthy basis. I'm talking about healthy, okay? Because relationships are work, you know? The littlest argument, and most people run these days. The littlest, and I used to be one of these people. I would be like, fuck that, I ain't got time for this shit, and throw in the towel. But that ain't gonna get me nowhere. If you can't have a conversation, if you can't express yourself with someone in a moment that you're a little irritated, it ain't gonna fucking work to marriage. If you can't get through the dating phase because you got a pet peeve with everything that people are doing, it is not them. At some point, you gotta take that look in the mirror and say, wait a minute, what the fuck may I be doing wrong here in this dating scene? Like, maybe I'm not rolling right. Maybe I'm not vibing right. Because if everybody else, you always got a fucking problem, everybody else comes at you, it's always an issue, boo, you gotta go within. And you gotta say, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Maybe I need to work on me. And while you're single, work on you. Figure out why you do certain things, but I guarantee you're going to start to see that expectation list You know, society says you should be married, you should have kids. If you're dating for more than this time, he should propose to you or some bullshit. Everything is based on other people's assumptions of what partnerships is. Too many people are not going with the flow and letting shit naturally grow, you know? Naturally just grow, naturally blossom into something else, right? You've been single for 4 years? Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's learning. It's learning. You know, we all got to learn. You know, like I could say some of my faults, you know, came from a lot of the shit I had been in. And, you know, a lot of these gurus make money off of telling you, yeah, be a queen, this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying not be a queen or a king, not to present yourself like that and have standards. But when you expect people are going to do this, that, and the third, or when you're nitpicking on someone, right? And the reasons why you're not giving them a chance are fucking dumb as shit. That's when you got to take a look at yourself. That's when you got to take a step back and say, wait a minute, I'ma fucking be alone forever. You know, I was in the Queen of Swords mode for a very long time. You say one thing, you do one thing, and I'm cutting you off. I don't give a fuck what the sex is. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't give a fuck what your money looks like. Because I was just like, that ain't my money. I don't give a fuck. That's the wrong attitude. Yes, we're queens. Yes, we're goddesses. Yes, you guys are kings. Yes, you guys are gods. But you gotta get off of that fucking high-ass platform you put yourself on. Way too many people out here competing for love. Way too many people out here competing for love and affection. And at the end of the day, most men, ladies, listen up. At the end of the day, most men are looking for their peace. Someone who brings peace into their life. They are not looking for someone who nags 24/7 about petty shit. And women, we could be petty. Let's be real, let's be honest. We could be petty as fuck. We know we can. We can be petty as fuck. We start arguing and bitching about the most littlest shit. Women. Now, I'm not going to say there aren't men that are petty. And I'm not saying there aren't men who do this shit. But more women do it than men. Okay? It's just the nature. We've got to change that. You want a relationship, you got to become that peace for that man or that woman. You got to become that safety, that home feeling. And if you don't know what that feels like, then you need to check within, because that means you don't feel like home to yourself. You're not safe and secure in your own energy. You're not vibing with you as you should. And that goes with that self-awareness, self-care. Right? So it's just coming into those moments where we realize if you don't want to fucking be alone, if you really, like right now, you might be like, no, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. And I get that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But at the end of the day, if you really don't want to be alone, if you really want a relationship at the end of the day, and that's what you're striving to have a healthy relationship, you're going to have to throw those expectations out the fucking window. Or you will be settling when you get to a certain age. You're going to settle because your chances of meeting someone are going to dwindle because you're so busy on the fantasy that you created than the reality that's put in front of you. Spirit sends us soulmates left and right. Whether it be the motherfucker at the store that smiles at you, the motherfucker at the gas station that smiles at you, the person who takes your order. You have multiple people who come into your life all the time, yet I hear women and men alike bitch and complain that there are no good women, there are no good men out there. Get the fuck out of here. There are. You're just not open to them. They don't fit your expectation, your box. Okay? Most of your fucking soulmates don't look like your normal type. They don't look like the normal person that you go after. Okay? Be open. Open up your box to new experiences. Okay? Open up your box to new conversations. Open up your box to allow somebody else in that doesn't look like your usual type. Forget those expectations. You know? We want a lot of things from a partner, yet we don't even have what we're asking. A lot of people, and I'm not, no disrespect to anybody, but a lot of people are like, I need a man who makes this much. Well, shit, do you make that much? Are you bringing in 100K a year or more? Are you bringing in 50K or more? Boo, if you not, then you can't request this motherfucker to make that shit. It's just like, come on, let's be real. Are you making that? Is your bank account on a couple zeros in that bitch, or is your bank account negative? Be realistic. Because you will end up alone. If you want to live in the fantasy bullshit that people are telling you, the fantasy bullshit that's out there about dating and relationships, you will end up alone. Some of you guys go to married people that are unhappy as fuck, always complaining about their person, but then tell you to leave someone you're talking to because you had a little disagreement. Yet every day they're bitching and complaining about their spouse. Don't take advice from that motherfucker. One, they ain't leaving that husband or that wife. They giving you faulty information. Some of you guys got friends. They don't have your highest interests. They're telling you, oh, fuck that motherfucker. There's more out there. Okay. Keep following that advice. Go to the friend who's trying to give you some positive advice to work through the little issues. Go to the person who might have some real advice to help you. Because sometimes we're nitpicking. We're nitpicking every time we see people. We're nitpicking their clothes, the way they talk, their background, their schooling, their job, their friends, their community, their neighborhood. We're nitpicking. When you're young, go ahead, do what you do. But I will tell you, as a 40-something-year-old woman, your options start to fucking dwindle. You don't have the same options you had when you were in your 20s. And if you're sitting on a timeline, that timeline is going to disappear, or them expectations going to fucking disappear. And you got to be real with yourself and come to an understanding of, what do I really want? Do I want the fantasy, or do I want the reality? And the reality don't look like the fantasy. Not everybody is making their fantasy come true. There's a difference between dreams, manifesting, creating a life that you want, and there's a difference between holding on to an illusion that will never fucking come true for you. You got to be realistic. And I say that with all the love that I can. I say that with all of the positivity that I can, but I feel like Spirit is always pushing me to say some real shit. Because, man, I used to sit there for a long time and just, I wouldn't like people for certain reasons. It'd be stupid shit. They would snore and be like, ugh, this motherfucker snores. I can't do that. This motherfucker chews weird. I can't do that. Oh, look at the car he drives. He don't make money. He don't got time for me. It'll be one dude that don't got time for me and be like, this motherfucker never has time for me. I can't do it. The next one will be all on my phone day and night. And I'll be like, oh, I can't do this shit. This motherfucker's way too much on my phone. He calls me way too much. It's like, are we really ever happy? When we ask and we say we want something, Spirit gives it to us, and we're never happy. We're never fucking happy with it. Because why? It doesn't meet our expectations. It doesn't mean the bullshit, it doesn't match to the bullshit illusion that we've created. So you have to be honest with yourself. If you don't want to be alone for the rest of your life, if you don't want to end up older and alone and not have that companion in your life, because guess what? Those kids will grow up and you will be sitting there by yourself like, damn, I'm really alone now. I'm alone. I'm good, but I'm ready for a companion. And now you got to sit and think about how to vibe in life by yourself. Now you got to sit and vibe like, okay, how do I get back out in the dating field? How do I allow people in? So trust me, you got to start taking those expectations out and keep your standards. I'm not telling you to lower your standards, and I'm not telling you to settle, but settle is not a bad thing, especially if you are like, I want to be married by 35, you know, I want a kid by 36. Well, if you got a timeline like that, well, guess what? You gonna settle. You gonna settle for someone because you're on a timeline. Otherwise, you just go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. And law of attraction is fucking key. I will tell you that. Law of attraction is key. You are what you attract. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. When people are like, oh no, this, that, and the third. Some shit happens. You have a choice. If you stay with someone who is fucking horrible to you, it's your choice. You may not have asked for a situation like that, but you staying in a situation like that. It all boils down to you. Okay? So that's kind of my take on that. That's kind of my what I feel. If you don't want to be alone, if you don't want to grow up and not have a companion, someone to share your life, you're going to change those expectations, and you're going to switch it and just flow, and you're going to stop looking at superficial bullshit. You know, you're going to stop looking at the minor shit. Stop running. Every time something happens, you want to run. You're going to change all of that. And you're going to come into this realistic space of, where am I at in my life? What am I doing? Did I concentrate on my money? Is my money good while I'm asking for somebody else's money to be good? If I want 50-50, be prepared to pay for a meal. Stop with that double standard shit. Don't sit here and say, oh, I want 50-50, but then when a man expects you to pay, you pissed off. Or if he don't pay for your Lyft or Uber, you're mad. You have to step into what you're asking for and step into what you want. And so if that's what you want, you got to change. Right? So that's my shit today. My walk is over. That's my walk today, my talk. Love and light to you guys. Until next time. Sweating out here. Woo! Getting it in 5th day in a row. I'm proud of myself this week, you guys. So get outside. Get some exercise. Get busy. Whatever it is that you're working on, work on it. Okay? All right. Until next time, you guys. Bye.